Hello, you are listening to Disney Travel Tales, episode number 39. This is a space where you can escape the real world and immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and today I'm talking with Molly and her mother Cathy about their April Walt Disney World vacation. Molly and I met over Instagram, and she has a wonderful page, and you can find her at Molly K. Nelson. She talks Disney and fashion, and I just love how real and happy her page is. Go check her out. If you're wanting to travel to Disney and make this the year of making memories, then let me help you. I'm a travel agent now and want nothing more than to help you make your vacation magical. Check the show notes for a form to fill out where I ask basic questions so I can get the perfect quote for you. Most people don't realize this, but Disney builds in a fee for travel agents, if you're using one or not. If you just go to the Disney website and book your own trip, you're still paying that fee and not getting any of the benefits. So take advantage of my services and let me do all the hard work and planning so you can just sit back and enjoy your vacation. If you're enjoying the show, please leave a positive review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. I absolutely love doing this show, and the best way to support me is to leave a positive review. Okay, so let's get going. Imagine yourself eating and drinking around the World Showcase, and let's go. We are here today with two guests, and I am super excited to have on the show Molly and her mom, Cathy, who visited Disney World just last week.
Yeah, we did. We got back on the 14th, so we were there from April 10th through the 14th, and we had a blast.
So fun. So why don't y'all just tell us a little bit about yourselves and your experience with Disney vacations?
Sure. Mom, do you want to go first since your story is probably shorter than mine?
Shorter? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a talker. No, I was born and raised in California, so we got to go to Disneyland a few times a year, and so I love Disneyland. It's fun. And so, but when you get older, you're kind of like, it's not that much of a big deal anymore. But my daughter, Molly, got really into it, and her and her husband. And so it brings back a lot of good memories and fun memories and how we really, truly enjoyed it. But I live here in Colorado. I'm married, and I don't know what else you need to know, but
that's perfect.
Molly, Madison, my daughter, and but Molly and I went. She encouraged me to go because I know she's been trying to get me to go for the last couple of years.
No, I'm just kidding.
And I understand her. That she really loved Disney and all that. And I really support her on that. And I think it's fun. But anyway, I didn't want her to go along because her husband can go. And I was so glad that I got to come with her because we had a lot of fun. And we really had a good mother-daughter time, sharing wonderful memories at Disney. And we had a lot of fun. My favorite part was got to meet the Disney characters for breakfast. I've never had that before. And, I'm 51 years old. I truly enjoyed it.
That's so fun. I love that.
She grew up going to Disneyland, and then I didn't grow up going to Disney. I just got into it maybe like in 2017 with my husband for like the first time. So I didn't have the same experience that she did, and I kind of became more interested in it as an adult. So it's kind of interesting to see someone who's grown up with it and then someone who kind of recently, I don't know, do you want to say jump on the bandwagon? Jumped on the Disney bandwagon, but it's the most fun wagon that you can be on. So
yeah, for sure.
But Yeah, my name is Molly. I know you said to introduce ourselves. So my name's Molly. I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and I post a lot of Disney style content and fashion and things like that. And then I recently got into going to Disney World, just really a couple of years ago. And right now I am actually an annual pass holder. So, we went probably, I think 5 times last year, me and my husband, and that was like the most, it was a lot. And this year we have just a couple trips planned, but my first time going to Disneyland will be in May. So,
Oh, that's exciting.
yeah, lots of parks and lots of fun times, lots of good memories already.
That's awesome. Yes, I found Molly on Instagram. I love following her page. It's so much fun. I will link it in the show notes for anyone that wants to follow her. I love Molly's page because it's always makes me smile. It brings like happiness to my day.
Good. That's what I aim to do. I'm glad that that's what it does for you.
Yes, and we both live in Texas, so we can chat about all that fun
We
Texas
do.
weather. Okay, so let's talk about y'all's trip. I'm super excited. So what dates did y'all travel?
We went from the 10th through the 14th. And just a little bit of advice for anyone planning their trip in the springtime, check spring break for everybody, not just like your area, because I did not know that spring break was like the whole month of March and April. And at any given week, it could be spring break for a school or, an area. So we were there during someone's spring break because it was a little bit crowded, but it was still fun. So
Yeah, there's spring break like all of spring, I think.
yeah,
For somebody.
it's such a mind-blowing concept for me now that I'm not in school. I'm like, I forget about this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And spring is such a nice time to visit Florida, so it's hard you kind of have to just deal with the crowds, I guess, if you want to be there.
Oh yeah, but the weather was so gorgeous. The week that we went, we hit right before it started to get really, really sunny and sweaty. And then night times, it was just breezy and really like you almost needed a little bit of a jacket at night, and it was just the perfect temperature to. And what was great is Magic Kingdom was open until 11 one night, so we just kind of spent all night. Just enjoying the nice weather and the sunset. And it was just really, really beautiful.
That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So how did y'all get to Florida?
So we flew. My mom flew and I flew. So she flew from Colorado and I flew from Texas. My mom flew first class.
Woohoo!
Mom, how was your flight to Florida?
Actually, it was nice. Colorado, the schools have their spring break way early. So everybody was pretty much back to school, and it wasn't really spring break for very many here in Colorado. So the airports were easy. Not crowded. I got right through, no problem. So it was easy peasy until I got to Florida. And yeah, the airports were crazy.
It was pretty busy.
Yeah, we landed like around 9:30 in the evening, and I had never seen it so packed. And I was like, what is going on? And then we realized, this is their spring break in Florida. And so, and getting Uber and all that was really expensive because of that. And so, but no, the flight was good overall for me.
Yeah. And I flew too. I always fly Southwest, so it was really easy. And there's nothing like getting to MCO and just seeing that carpet again. And you're like, I'm back in Disney. I don't know why. It's just the carpet for me is always like, okay, now I'm in Florida and I can start my Disney vacation.
Yes. There's something about it.
Something about it.
So y'all got an Uber to your resort?
Hey parents, do your kids listen to podcasts? Do they like solving mysteries and flexing their imaginations? Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is a new children's mystery podcast. Your kid can join Billy Bonanza and Susie Sockington on exciting and wacky adventures as they attempt to solve mysteries around their school. Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is available now on all podcast platforms.
Yeah, so we debated because I know now that they're not doing Magical Express anymore, tier. But we debated doing the bus service. I do have a travel agent who I love, and she offered to set up transportation for me, which was great. But I regret actually not using the Mears transportation service because I feel like it would have been a lot easier. But our goal was to get there as quickly as possible. And I just have heard kind of mixed reviews on how quick the Mears shuttle was, which has replaced the Magical Express. And I didn't want to wait too long since it was a Sunday night and I thought it might be crowded. So all those things taken into consideration, me and my mom both decided that we would just split a lift and we would go out to catch one. And honestly, I think that was not the best decision. I really think we could have got there a lot quicker with the Mears transportation shuttle. And from what I've heard the past couple of weeks, they've really improved the travel situation in that sense. So I kind of regret not taking it.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell with those ride shares. Sometimes they can be very unpredictable.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I know when we go, I feel like no matter what I choose is the wrong choice.
I know. It's always, you talk yourself out of one option and you default to another. And, I feel like there's never enough transportation options in Orlando because everybody's trying to get somewhere.
So when we went in January, we used a town car service called Tiffany's Town Car, and I highly recommend them. It was super affordable. It was actually cheaper than when we used Uber the time before. And they are waiting for you when you come downstairs, and then they take you out this back entrance to your car, and it's super fast. Like, it was great.
Wow. That would have made me feel like I was like a celebrity or something.
I know. When we went out the back entrance, there were like limos, and my daughter was with me, and she's 9, and she was like, "Are we in a limo?" I was like, "No."
Mom, it's a celebrity experience. And you're like, "It was cheaper, honey."
Right? But yeah, you just never know with the transportation. It's so unpredictable.
But that's an awesome tip because I feel like everybody always debates what to do when they get there. So I think that's actually a really good tip.
Yes, I can send you their info for future.
Please do.
Yes. Okay, so what resort did y'all stay at?
Mom, do you remember the name?
I do. I finally do. I can never remember for some reason. Because there's so many, and so we stayed at Pop Century Resort.
Nice.
Yeah. That is my favorite value resort. I know my mom was like, "Oh, we don't get to stay at the Grand Floridian."
What?
Remember when we went on the monorail and you saw the Grand Floridian?
Yeah.
It would be nice, but I absolutely love Pop Century. I think it's probably my favorite value resort just because it's so close to the Skyliner. And my mom, that was her first time using the Skyliner, and I think you really enjoyed it, didn't you, Mom?
Yes, I did. It was pretty cool. The only drawback that I had with that hotel is we were way in the back. The resort where everything was up front. The Skyliner and the food court and all that. If you want to just go and have coffee or whatever, it's a long, long walk. However, it's good for me. I know that, but I just had knee surgery, and a few months ago, and I'm still, in physical therapy and all that. But I know that walking was really good. So, but it's a beautiful resort, very tropical, right there on the water, the lake. And I told Molly transportation was more important than having a fancy pool, because she asked me about that. And I said, "Oh, no, transportation." And that was awesome. It really was helpful.
Yeah, the Skyliner is amazing. Such a good addition. Oh, it's such a good addition.
Yeah, and I always talk to my husband about this, and like, oh, I bet they're going to add, more ways that you can take the Skyliner at some point. I mean, maybe not, but I just feel like everybody loves it so much. And I hope that one day they extend it to other resorts, and then we'll have more options so that we don't have just, I think there's just 4 now, right? Caribbean Beach, Riviera. And,
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So there's 4 now. I hope maybe one day they'll add more, because I love it so much. It's also like kind of a ride for me. Like I could ride it and then just that'll be my day. And my mom was like, you don't have to like have a ticket to go on here, because it's so much fun.
Yeah. It's so fun.
I think, now that they cut out that bus transportation at the airport, everybody taking Lyft and Uber, it can be expensive after a while. But I wish more resorts would have transportation to get to these resorts. So I'm sure they're working on that. But that would be very convenient for a lot of families and for all of us. So I was happy that we stayed there. Easy transportation here and there.
Yeah, that's great. So the first day y'all got there late in the evening. Did y'all do anything that day, or just kind of go to bed?
Oh yeah, we just, my mom was like, do they have wine? And I was like, I think not at this resort, but we can get you some eventually. But we just grabbed like a really quick dinner at the food court, and then planned our next day and went to bed.
Okay, so what park did y'all visit your first park day?
Mom, do you remember what it's called? This is her first time there.
Hollywood, not Video, did it? Hollywood Video.
But yeah, we went to Hollywood Studios for our first day. I did try Genie Plus, and we were able to get a lightning lane for Rise of the Resistance.
Yes.
And because that was something I really wanted to take her on. She hasn't been on any of the newer rides, so I wanted to take her on as many newer attractions that I could. So we did Rise of the Resistance. And then I also wanted to take her on, I really wanted to take her on Slinky Dog, but I could not, I wasn't quick enough with the fingers to get Slinky Dog, but, we also went on, oh my gosh, now I'm blanking. What did we go on, Mom?
We went on the Star Wars stuff, the Star Wars ride. Star Wars, I know those names, but I can't remember them all. You and Josh would remember.
Tower of Terror.
The what?
Tower of Terror.
Yes.
We went on Tower of Terror, and then we went on, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So.
Oh, I love that ride.
Hollywood Hotel.
Tower of Terror.
Oh, is that what it's called? Okay. But, and I got in trouble.
She was kind of being Miss Chatty Cathy at Rise of the Resistance. So while we were in line, my mom didn't know that the cast members that, their job in the Empire, as an Empire, whatever you want to call it, sympathizer, are to kind of not be the nicest to us as guests, because that is their role. And my mom mistook them for actually not enjoying her.
I thought they were so rude. She came right in my face and said, what did she say? She said something about talking. And I'm like, and I looked at her and I'm like, yeah, I'm talking. Yeah, do you have a problem with that? Something like that. And then they kept talking about me. Then she kept, saying, Miss Chatty, can I talk now? And then I realized, this is a game thing that they're playing with me. And so I thought I had to go along with it. It was fun.
They probably enjoyed that, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people even my husband, who's the biggest Star Wars fan you've ever met, when we went for the first time, he was so stunned in silence that he couldn't interact at all. And I feel like a lot of the people are, because they get there, they're like, wow, there's so much to look at, that they forget that you can interact with these cast members. And I think they enjoyed you, Mom. Oh,
I hope so. But I was very impressed though after I figured out, this is a part of the job. Okay. And because everybody was looking at me, and I kept saying, I'm in big trouble.
She did.
And they're all like, and they wouldn't say anything. And I realized, I'm not supposed to be talking. Okay. But anyway, they did a fantastic job being really serious the whole time. And I always wonder, do they ever slip? laugh or what. You never know.
Yeah, it's impressive. That whole experience, I feel like everyone has to do it at least once. Even if you don't love Star Wars, I think the whole experience is just fun.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
That's so funny, though. Yeah. The first time we went, my husband and my oldest son are like the biggest Star Wars fans, and they were too. They just could not stop looking around. Like they couldn't. So we went on it a second time, and they were a little bit more loose. But that first time, it was like trying to look at everything because it's so much.
It's so much.
Yeah. And they did a really good job, with everything and the characters and this and that. I felt like I was actually in a spaceship.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So how did Genie Plus go with you for that day?
Mom, how do you think it went?
That day?
Yeah, Genie Plus, the app.
Well, you mean the app? Did you say that?
Yes. Did you find that I was frustrated?
She's very frustrated. I felt bad for her because we were so tired. We got in late. We went to bed late. And the hour difference too. For me, it was 2 hour difference. So I went to bed later because I wasn't ready to go to bed at midnight, when we got in. And then, so we were tired. So the next morning, I see Molly getting up at 7 on her phone, trying to get in with the lines, and I can see she was so frustrated. And I said, "Can I help?" She goes, "No, you don't know what to do."
No, I didn't say that.
Well, I mean, it's just probably easier for her to do it than me because she understands it a whole lot better than I. And so every morning, she's like, Sometimes when we're in line for a ride, she'll be on there and she gets so frustrated. And I thought, they got to do something about that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a great service for those of us that don't like standing in line, and for those of us that are really, well informed on the app already. So if we've already used it before and we kind of know the ins and outs of the Disney World app already, I think it's easier for those of us that know how to use it. But for someone who has never looked at it before and they're really wanting to at least skip a couple of lines for the big rides and they're not wanting to have to wait an hour for a cool roller coaster like Slinky Dog, I just feel like it wasn't necessarily the easiest to use for like a novice. But for me, as someone who's, for my work, I do have to be on my phone frequently. So I felt like that time was doubled. I was also creating content for Instagram and TikTok, and then I'm also having to be on my phone. And I really did want to enjoy my experience with my mom, but she was so understanding. So thank you, Mom. For both of those reasons, I just felt like, I don't know, I miss fast passes.
Yeah, it's I think if you are new going to Disney, you're going to really struggle with it. It might even be better to not get it unless you know someone that can really give you like a really good tutorial in person on it. But if you can figure it out, it is so nice not having to stand in those lines.
If you can figure it out, like, I highly recommend it because, there were some times where I was like, oh, okay, this is how this works. Or I finally got a lightning lane for a ride that I've been really wanting to ride with my mom. And I was like, it gave me this like sense of happiness and elation. And I was like, oh yes, like I felt like I achieved something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was really nice. And also, it was hot, and being able to kind of just breeze right on through and go straight into the rides was really nice. And then once I got the hang of it, it was one of those things where we got out of line and I was able to immediately get another lightning lane for a ride that we really wanted to go on. So it wasn't like we were having to wait around for a super long time, especially if I kept refreshing the app. So that was a nice aspect of it. So there's definitely pros and cons.
So for Mickey's Runaway Railway and the Tower of Terror, did you have lightning lanes for those rides?
Yes. I didn't want my mom to have to wait in line for a lot of rides just because I'm the type of person where I want if I'm bringing someone and it's like I'm taking them, I want to take care of them and I want them to have the best experience possible. So I'm really protective of my mom, and I was like, I don't want you to have to wait in the heat, and I don't want you to have to walk too much. And so because of those reasons, I wanted to make sure that I got lightning lanes for all the rides. And so pretty much every ride we did, we had a lightning lane for, except for I think maybe 2.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really nice.
What I found interesting was she was only allowed to do it. She had a limit of 3 to reserve, and then you have to wait to use all of them. And then you can, 2. Oh, okay. And I thought, really? So that means you're spending more time on the phone and not really experiencing family time, friend time, or whatever, or, the Disney World experience. They're constantly on the phone, and I just thought, there's got to be a better way. And I know they're probably working on it. They're always working on it. And something better will come our way. But I can remember, and even in Disneyland, when Fast Track first came, that was an awesome thing. But you had to pay a little extra for that. And then we just had a wristband, not the kind with length, but it's just a wristband. And you show them your band, and then they let you go. And I thought that was really easy, convenient. I don't know why they stopped that, but I mean, I'm sure they're exploring, trying new different things, and but I didn't like the fact that you're limited to like 2, and you have to do it on that day. Why can't you reserve it ahead of time?
Yep.
Good question, Mom.
Yeah, and hopefully they do tweak it. I doubt they will, but if they did it like Universal system where you can just buy that like ultra pass and then you get to go on any ride at any time.
Yes,
that would be nice.
Super nice.
Yeah.
I liked that when we went to Universal. That was really nice to just have it and then just go. But I'm sure there are reasons that are beyond any of our knowledge why that's not what they use. So
absolutely, way above my pay grade.
That's above my head and my pay grade.
So for the like Tower of Terror and the other ride, y'all didn't have long waits, did y'all?
No, we didn't. I would say during that time, if we didn't have Lightning Lane, the waits were really high, just because of the time that we went. And that was probably around, we got up around, I went back to sleep after I did Genie Plus, but we had breakfast, and then I think we arrived at the park around 10 a.m.
Okay.
And that's a pretty popular time to arrive there if you're not doing rope drops. So I think anyone that probably had Genie Plus or Lightning Lane that day probably arrived around the same time we did. And then the waits were pretty high. And I did check the app just to see maybe there are other rides we wanted to do, but the waits were a little bit higher than I wanted to wait. So, I think the lowest wait time on that day, which was April 11th, was, I want to say maybe like an hour for every ride. So it was pretty busy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There was one that was like 3 hours, I can remember. And I thought, no way.
Yeah.
Probably Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, probably. So did y'all eat anything yummy that day in Hollywood Studios?
Yeah, ate a few. Molly was showing me this and that. Oh, you got to try this and that. And I wanted to try the tart that she highly recommended. And I found out that she ate the whole thing.
Okay, now wait just a minute. Okay, Woody's lunchbox around lunchtime is notoriously just, a powder keg of people. Like everybody's there, everyone's there at the same time. But I had to get the tachos. That's my number one favorite quick service snack. I absolutely love it. I've made it at home several times. I'm obsessed with that. But we mobile ordered that pretty much, I would say maybe an hour into being in the parks, which is a tip. Or order your mobile orders before so that you can just have it and then you can just go about your day, which was super convenient. And I think we mobile ordered it for around 12 p.m. So again, a super, high traffic time for Woody's lunchbox. And there were no tables to be found. So while I was in line waiting for our food, my mom was like scouting out and seeing if there's any tables we could sit at. And she found one. Mom, great job on that. You were an eagle eye.
You're kind of like, as soon as someone gets up, you're like,
yeah.
But they need more tables.
Hunger Games, quite literally.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But we finally sat down and we were eating, and I had the tart kind of like in the background, and we were eating, and my mom had a turkey sandwich. Did you like your turkey sandwich, Mom?
It was wonderful. Very good.
Yeah, she really liked that.
Eat in there, so yeah, it was good.
And she really enjoyed my tachos, and I feel like we were just kind of distracted afterwards. And I was eating my tart, and then someone really wanted our table. They really wanted it, and they saw that we were almost done, and I wanted to give it to them. So I just put my tart on my table. It was the raspberry Pop-Tart, which the Pop-Tarts at Woody's Lunchbox are so good.
Mm-hmm.
But I put it on my tray, and then I threw away all of my food, and my mom was like, "What? I never got to try the Pop-Tarts."
But you highly recommend.
I know. That was my mistake. Mom, it wasn't that good, okay? It was terrible. You didn't miss anything.
But what I found interesting was that as soon as we were getting ready to leave, there were two women fighting in front of me from a table. They were arguing, fighting, and I'm like, I'm not getting into that. But I tried to tell her. It was amazing how, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. People go crazy at theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
They like forget manners and like public etiquette.
I know.
But
But there's also lots of sweet moments too. I just remember there's this one table right next to us, and their whole family, you could tell their whole family was there, like extended family, and they were just all at Woody's Lunchbox chit-chatting away, and their little kid was just having the time of his life. I'm sure this is going to be the highlight of his year, and he was just so excited, and you could tell they were all having a wonderful time. So it's, it's definitely a balance between the good moments and the not so good. So
absolutely. So anything else exciting happened this day?
what day was that? April 11th. Well, after we went to Hollywood, we had a nap. Something that's like super important for me, and any Disney trip is having some downtime. And that's a tip that I always give, like, people that ask me for Disney tips. I'm always like, you need to have at least one day for downtime and also take breaks. So I told my mom ahead of time, we're going to be taking breaks because I know, this is your first real Disney experience. So we're going to be taking breaks, and she loved that. And after the break, we went to Epcot. And I know my mom really wanted to eat around the world because we'd never done that before. And we did that, and that was so much fun. We really didn't ride any rides at Epcot because that wasn't necessarily our priority. We really wanted to just try all the food, and the topiaries were gorgeous. I don't think I've ever seen the topiaries in Flower and Garden Festival before, but Sorcerer Mickey is my favorite, and that's the first one you see kind of when you walk into World Showcase, and it's just beautiful. So it was a gorgeous night, and we had a blast. And I know my mom really enjoyed the croissant from France because she went back and got a second one.
That was my favorite. I went back and got another. The pastry was goat cheese. Oh, that was delightful.
Yeah, I could really eat a whole box of those. That was really delicious.
Oh yes, the food in France is so good.
I know, and the drinks too.
Oh yes, the drinks
really
too.
Good. And you got your wine, Mom.
I did.
Yay!
It was a little sweet for me, but I'm a wine drinker yet, but I like my wine dry. But it was so good. It was sparkly, and it accommodated really well with the pastry, so it was good.
That's
and
awesome.
then we had the best night's sleep because we were full and happy.
Oh, yeah. Did y'all stay for the fireworks, the Harmonious show?
We didn't that day. I asked my mom if she wanted to, and she said, no, probably not tonight. But I have seen them before, and they are the best. They are my favorite fireworks show in any of the parks.
Yeah,
But
so
we
good.
see it one night, didn't we?
We never saw the fireworks.
But as we were walking, not like sitting watching, as we were walking and looked for a ride, I saw some fireworks. They were pretty, but not that night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, was the croissant y'all's favorite thing y'all got to eat that day?
Yes, and
Yeah,
was it Japan or China? The crab cheese wonton was
yes.
they,
Those were
that
good.
that's the way it should be. You go to a restaurant, they give you a tiny little bit of cheese, no crab, and all the dough. But there, it was delicious. It was thick and heavy, a lot of crab. And it was
yeah, definitely good value for money. I would say that. And I think it was called the Lotus House, which is their booth in China. Oh my gosh. And the Mala chicken skewer. Definitely China and France were our favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love the Flower and Garden Festival. It's my favorite.
I'm going to have to argue and say Food and Wine, but I know no one will agree with me, so that's okay. I'm just going to sit on my little Food and Wine box and be by myself.
Oh, yeah. If that's your favorite, it's your favorite.
I agree with you, Jenny. It was gorgeous, beautiful, and, all the Disney characters, how they made it into... my favorite. I mean, I know a lot of them were beautiful, but there was one that caught my eye, and I had to take a picture of it, and it was Twining tea.
Oh, Twining tea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how they had the little teacup.
And flowers were overflowing, and it was gorgeous, just the way they decorated it. It was precious. But yeah, everything was gorgeous, beautiful, and the weather was nice because we went in the evening. It was just a perfect day and night for that. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. And you could just smell the flower. I think my favorite part about Flower Garden is you can just smell the flowers wherever you go. And it's just such a nice feeling of like, oh, it's springtime.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so what did y'all do y'all's second park day?
We didn't go to any parks.
Yay!
We actually went to brunch. So I worked with it's a travel company called Touring Plans, whom I absolutely love their app. Before Genie Plus, they had a Disney. They still have it, but it's a Disney planning app, and it's basically just an app where you can plan out all your day, and they have crowd calendars, and it's very convenient, and I've used it for years. But we worked together, and they hosted us for brunch at Topolino's Terrace, and they have a reservation finder on their app, which we used, and we were able to find the absolute perfect time, 10 a.m., which is like right in the middle for brunch, not too early, not too late. And I really think my mom enjoyed that meal.
I did. And I thought, oh, God, we're going to, whatever, with the Disney characters.
She really was not looking forward to it, but I bet you ate your words.
I've never had that before, having breakfast with them. And not only that, the hotel was beautiful and the food was like the best. They cooked everything perfect. Everything was warm. My scrambled eggs was wet, not overcooked.
She kept saying everything about those wet eggs. She loved the wet eggs.
I like my egg wet, yeah. Everywhere you go, you get scrambled eggs, they overcook, and you're like, ugh.
Yes.
And they were perfect, and everything was phenomenal. And the Disney characters were so cute. They had,
he was taking videos, and she was like, stop, let's take a picture.
That's so fun. I love it.
I think if you're a person who doesn't think Disney World has good food, just go to Topolino's Terrace, and then your mind will be changed.
It's so good.
So good. We had so much fun. And I took a picture with Daisy, who was my favorite of the original characters. So you know what? It was the best morning.
What did you get to eat, Molly?
I had the Gruyere quiche, and I was really nervous about it because I've had quiche at Disney before, and it has been a little dry. But this was like the absolute perfect texture and taste, and the potatoes were, I could go on for hours, but it was really good. And the coffee was great. I actually ended up going to Joffrey's at Disney Springs, and I really wanted to get the coffee from Riviera because they have special blends. And that was just, I'm excited to make that coffee now.
Oh yeah, their coffee is good. I actually order it online and have it sent to my house because it's so good.
It is, and it's your little slice of Disney every morning.
Yes, it is. I love it.
I sent a bunch to Molly for her for Christmas.
Yeah, she got me a whole array of Joffrey's Disney
coffee. That's the best Christmas present.
Mm-hmm. Mom, what did you have to eat again? I forgot.
Oh, the bagel with smoked salmon and capers, and the pickled radishes and all that. And because it sounds so wonderful. And then I wanted scrambled eggs on the side, so I got some of that.
Yeah, they can do any of basically their whole menu. You can do a la carte since it's kind of like a prefix type of deal, which I didn't know until I got there. So that was a super interesting thing to learn. So if you wanted like a side of potatoes and you didn't get enough, or you could order another quiche if you wanted it. So that was really convenient. I liked that.
Yeah, that's really nice. Did y'all walk out on the balcony after eating and check out the views?
Yeah, we took the view. We took pictures. Yeah.
It's beautiful. You got to really see the whole, I mean, it's such a clear, beautiful day. Well, you can see everything, miles and miles. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. We thought about sneaking into their pool, but we didn't. We didn't. We didn't.
It's tempting, right? It's such a nice pool.
Tempting. It is tempting, but we're rule followers, so we did it.
And y'all just rode the Skyliner over, didn't y'all?
Yeah, we got the Skyliner and we rode it back to our resort that day. And honestly, we kind of debated what we wanted to do after that because, I wanted to make sure my mom was feeling okay and we didn't push her too hard. And, we wanted to go to a pool and we wanted to either go to Art of Animation, because Art of Animation's pool is so much fun. The big pool with all the sculptures and everything. But we just decided, so we were in the 80s building, which I'd never stayed in that part of Pop Century before, but it's a kind of a quiet area of Pop Century, which was nice. And we had a pool view, so we could just walk straight down. Roger Rabbit's right there, and you can just chill at the pool, which was really nice. It's not fancy by any means, but we really had the best time. I feel like that day we kind of just chit-chatted and swam around and got sunburnt, but we had a blast. I think we were there for a couple hours. We were there for so long that I was talking to my mom. I was like, should I change our dinner? Because we had reservations at Disney Springs that night. And I said, do you want me to change it till a later time? And she was like, yeah, why don't you do that?
That's so fun.
We had more time in the pool because we were having so much fun, but I didn't put my sunscreen on till like an hour later, and I should have done it like earlier. We really got burned, and it wasn't that bad hot,
No,
and I thought it was fine, but nope. Always wear sunscreen. So I finally put them on, but we still got a little sunburn, and my nose is peeling already.
I FaceTimed her yesterday, and I was like, how's your sunburn, Mom? And she's like, I'm peeling.
Yep.
I'm bubbling, I'm peeling.
So wear your sunscreen.
All the time, even if it's not hot.
Yeah.
No, we had a great time. And then that night we went to Enzo's Hideaway for dinner, which we had never been to before. I was going to take her to Wine Bar George, but we wanted kind of like a more filling meal. So we decided to what?
I'm later.
Yeah, later. Sometimes you gotta kind of contest with all the different reservations that they have. But Enzo's was great, and Disney Springs was a little bit crowded, but once you get into your dinner reservation, it's fine. It was such a cool, because I had never been to Enzo's before, and you go into that little like cave. It's like literally a cave, and my mom and I walked around. We're like, where do we go? But we finally found it. And it's basically just, your standard Italian fare, but the waiters were so sweet, and everyone was just so nice there. And we really had a great meal.
We did. It was very good. I think it was more like in the basement. It was
probably in the
town. It was really cool, though. Very good.
It was cool.
Never been there, and Molly took me there, and I kept thinking, what the world is Disney Springs shopping? You can shop anywhere, but no, that was really cool. There were so many nice shops there, and so many people, and of course we shopped.
Oh yeah, Disney Springs is so fun.
I think a lot of people, especially me, just first going to Disney a couple of years ago, I didn't even know Disney Springs existed, and I'm like, I've had the same kind of thoughts as my mom. Was like, why would you want to go there? It's just a shopping mall. But you get there and it's kind of like, I don't know, you could spend an entire day there. They've got the balloon you can go up on, and you can even ride one of those amphicars at the boathouse. And I don't know, I just feel like it's a fun experience. If you could spend a day there, you should.
Oh yeah, there's so much fun stuff to do. I've always wanted to ride one of those cars, but I'm
Me
kind of scared.
too.
Like, what happens if the car like breaks down
I
in the middle of the
know.
water?
Acting. And that's why I'll just watch it. I'm like, okay, have fun.
Yeah. Good luck. Bye. But it looks
We
fun.
wanted to go. This is something I've never seen Ghirardelli, because I wanted her and I to share a Sunday at Ghirardelli, because you gotta go to Ghirardelli. I mean, that ice cream is so good. And so we were waiting in line, and I've never seen a line that long at Ghirardelli before, but we were waiting, and then we look over to our left and we see this huge group of people with numbers in their hands, and we realize that they're all waiting for their ice cream, and we noped out of there real quick.
Wow.
I mean, it was bigger than a line.
Yeah.
That's
And we're
crazy.
like, oh, so we got to wait another hour or
Yeah.
whatever. So I said,
So
nah,
we went to
I
Walt
can
Disney
do with that
instead.
ice cream.
We're like, let's just go buy merch.
Yeah. Let's go spend our money somewhere else.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think it just gets after a certain time, everybody's done with the parks. They want to get dinner. They want to get dessert. They want to kind of walk around, maybe go to World of Disney. And I feel like everybody was there at the same time. So it was probably just a bad timing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of locals go to Disney Springs in the evenings as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So it gets packed up. So did
Yeah.
y'all do anything else there you want to talk about?
No, after that, we just went home, slept again.
We were tired, especially swimming and being in the sun and the wonderful breakfast. We were tired. Finally, that night we were tired. We got a good night's sleep. But I felt bad for Molly. The next morning, 7 a.m., trying to get on the ride at Magic Kingdom. So it was pretty crowded and it was hard to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so April 13th was our last day in the parks, and that was Magic Kingdom. And I did use Genie Plus that day as well. So, I mean, we tried to, again, have a leisurely, we went to bed early, kind of get as much sleep as we could. And then I tried to, again, get as many lightning lanes as I could in the morning. But it's also hard sometimes to kind of prioritize, because you're like, oh, I want to do this first. Oh, wait, no, I want to do this first. And well, I don't want to have to go walk all the way over to the other side of the park. And so as a planner, I'm sure you feel this way too, Jenny. You're trying to plan for your whole family. And I'm just like, I just want everyone to have the best experience possible. But sometimes you just kind of have to contend with what's available. And, anyways, it kind of stressed me out, but It was fine. And I actually really enjoyed our Magic Kingdom morning, because this is something that I really enjoyed. Is before we went to bed on Tuesday night. Yeah, before we went to bed on Tuesday night, we went to the Pop Century Dining Hall, and we just grabbed a couple of pastries, so we didn't have to get up and go walk all the way over to the dining hall for breakfast. And that was super convenient, because I didn't have to worry about getting breakfast for us. So we just had our breakfast while I was kind of looking at Genie Plus and kind of doing that. And that was I thought that was just kind of a good tip. That's
a great tip.
Because I'm always like, okay, well, I have to go mobile order Mickey waffles, because you gotta have Mickey waffles. But we'd already had Mickey waffles, so it was like, okay, I can just do something easy. Like, I don't always have to do something big. Or you can even eat something that I also thought about is you could even have done a grocery order at the beginning of your trip and had like little yogurts in your fridge, and that would have been good as well. So
that's what we had. We had yogurt. But then the next day,
right.
Yeah. But anyway, it was good, and I'm glad that we had a refrigerator so we can store some of our food and drink.
Yeah, we actually used it for just being there for 3 days. We actually used that fridge every single day.
But microwave, I was really surprised.
Oh, my mom apparently really wanted a microwave. I don't know what you wanted.
You want to heat up your muffin, or you want to heat up your coffee. If it's been sitting there for a while. Yeah, of course.
Mom, you can use your hairdryer.
I'm sorry.
You can use your hairdryer.
For an hour?
Well, I'm getting Genie Plus.
No, hotels have microwaves in the room, so that's why I was kind of surprised. But that's okay. They want you to go to the dining hall.
Yep, and spend money.
So it's either.
But we got to Magic Kingdom, I think around the same time. We tried to take our time. got on the bus. The buses were, would you say the buses were busy, Mom?
The what?
The buses that we took to Magic Kingdom, do you think they were busy?
They were busy. Yeah. Well, we took the bus to Disney Springs. That was full and packed. But that when we went to Magic Kingdom, it wasn't that full, but it wasn't that busy. But on the way back, it was.
Yeah. Well, our way there, I'm sure you've heard this before, Jenny, but the buses at Disney are always unpredictable, and sometimes you're waiting for like 30 minutes. But we have really good luck with the buses, and really did not have to wait long at all. And I think I'm pretty sure Disney has thought about this in the past couple months with COVID, especially. How to make the buses a little bit quicker at their more high volume resorts. So we had super quick buses. Literally every time we would go, a bus would be waiting for us.
Oh, that's so nice.
It was super nice because I have waited a very long time for a bus before to Saratoga Springs, but that resort is a lot less busy than Pop. So we got really lucky, and everybody, going to Magic Kingdom, everyone's always excited on the bus. So I feel like we were hyped up and we were like, oh, we're going to Disney. It's so exciting. And right when we got there, we kind of just walked around a little bit. We didn't have our first lightning lane until around 11:30, and that was Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain was their first lightning lane, and I know my mom really wanted to ride that because she loves that ride at Disneyland. What did we do, Mom? We kind of just...
After that, we did
before we went to Thunder Mountain, what did we do?
We
went and got coffee at Tomorrowland.
Oh, that's right. We got some coffee, and then we went to Thunder Mountain, and then we saw the parade. That was beautiful. I asked my mom, I was like, do you want to see the parade? Because she isn't like a Disney person like me, so I feel like parade to anyone who doesn't necessarily love Disney is like, do I have to?
Yeah.
So I could tell she wasn't necessarily super excited about it, but I was like, Mom, we're going to get a Mickey pretzel, and we're going to stand here, and I promise you're going to enjoy it. And you did. I did.
Yay.
And the highlight of that one was when you were wearing the Tiana shirt, and Tiana saw you, and she said, oh, you love me. What did she say, Tiana?
Yeah. So I was wearing a T-shirt that had Princess on the Frog on it because Tiana is my favorite princess. And we were right up in front in Frontierland, so we had grabbed a Mickey pretzel, and there was a really good place to stand right outside of the Frontierland. I don't know what that's called. It's just the little kiosk outside of in Frontierland where you can get Mickey pretzels. But we stood outside of that. Great views, and especially because that's where the parade starts. So, all the interactions I feel like were very fresh and new, and we were like their first interactions of the parade, which was really fun. So when the princess float came, I knew I was going to see Tiana, but I didn't want to be too much. I didn't want to be that annoying Disney fan. It's like, Tiana, oh my God, I love you. But she did see my shirt, and she kind of like was on a rotating float. So when she rotated around, she was like smack dab in front of me, and she saw me. She just like blew me a kiss and was like, I love you. And I was like, no, I love you.
That's so sweet. I love when they do that.
Like, oh, me on your shirt. Yeah, and I thought, oh, how cute.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that was the highlight of my entire trip because she was gorgeous, obviously, and I love her so. And everyone, that vantage point was really good because you could talk to a lot of the characters in the parade, and I just was telling everyone they looked beautiful because I was just I was on such a high after Tiana reacted to me, and so I was just complimenting everyone, and my mom was waving it at all the characters, and the floats were gorgeous, so that was definitely a highlight of that day.
It was so colorful, beautiful, and the dancers, they were just awesome.
Yeah, it was great. My favorite float, I think, was the Pinocchio float. Just was whimsical and beautiful. What was your favorite float, Mom?
I would have to say the, what was it?
Did you like Little Mermaid?
Yeah, the Little Mermaid. I think was that the princess one?
No, that was a different one.
Just the Little Mermaid. Yeah, because I love Ariel, but yeah, I think
that was probably her favorite float, I think.
Yeah,
that's so fun.
Yeah.
You know, when we went and they just had cavalcades, I was like, oh, I love cavalcades. But now seeing videos of the parade being back, I was like, oh, I love the parade. Like, I forgot how much I loved it.
There since the parade started again?
No.
Jenny, you have to go.
I know. That's what I keep telling my husband. I have to go.
Have to. It's not
long. That's what I like. That's what I liked about it. It's not that long. Because some of them can be really, really long, which is nice, I know. But we were like, we had rides here and there that we had to go to. And I was worried that we were going to miss it if it was so long. But it was not that long, beautiful, and it was great.
Yeah, it
was that really
gorgeous. And I went to the Christmas party last year because that was the first time that they brought back the Christmas parade. And I really didn't think it was going to be a big deal until I got there and I watched it. And then I wanted to watch it a second time because I started crying.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous with the snow. And I was like, okay, well, this trip, I'm definitely going to have to see Festival of the Fantasy. And this is my very first time seeing Festival of Fantasy. And it was just gorgeous, especially with the sunshine. And it was perfect. So we had a fun time watching it.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah. Trying to think after that, we kind of wanted to do just
the boat ride.
Yeah, we wanted to go on the is it called the Liberty Bell?
I think so.
Yeah, it's the boat right next to Haunted Mansion. And I feel like a lot of people skip out on that, but it's such a nice kind of leisurely easy thing. If you're one of the first people on, you can sit down and you can kind of just relax for a little bit. And I think you enjoyed that, right, Mom?
I did, especially, sitting out in the sun watching the parade. And it was a little warmer that day. And, so getting on that boat while we can, when the line's not that long. And it was actually very nice, relaxing. The cool breeze was nice. And then you can get to see the what they were talking about, like the Indians and the farmers and the animals. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. I've never done that boat.
Yeah, it's fun. I think a lot of people, they don't do it because they're like, okay, I just focused on going on all the rides, which no shame in that game. But Haunted Mansion was a 40-minute wait, and I did not want to wait that long for Haunted Mansion. And I just could not for the life of me get a lightning lane for Haunted Mansion. So we just decided to see Liberty Square on the boat. And then after that, we went to my mom's favorite ride of all time.
I can't remember. I know my favorite all-time ride.
I'll start singing it. I'll start singing it so you remember. It's a small world.
Yes, I love that ride. I do. So, I grew up as a doll lover too. And so to me, it just hits my heart. I always enjoy the small world.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've even been on it with you before, Mom. She claims that she took me to Disneyland one time when I was younger.
Not once, a few times, but you guys were young.
Okay. I don't remember that, but for some reason I always associate Small World with my mom, and so when I go with my husband, I always want to ride it because it always reminds me of her, and so this is just a really fun experience to be able to go on it with her. So
yeah, that is so fun. And like Disneyland is like the mecca for It's a Small World. So
it is, yeah. Magic Kingdom was a lot like Disneyland for me.
That's good, yeah, because I've never been on one at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what we did after that. So after Small World, yeah, it was hot. That was the hottest day of our trip. And we were feeling it at that point. We were really feeling it. And so we decided to take a break afterwards because we had reservations at one of my favorite restaurants. I think it's one of your favorites too, Jenny, California Grill.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yes, and I forgot how good it was because I've only been once before with my husband, and that was also it was a great experience. But Touring Plans was also hosting us for dinner that night, so that was really nice. And my mom also loved that, I think. So our plan was to go back, kind of shower and refresh, and then go to California Grill for dinner. And then the parks were open till 11, so we could go back to the parks and, not worry about lightning lanes too much and just kind of take our time. And
We used to take Uber there.
so we decided to treat ourselves instead of doing all the transportation nonsense. We just decided that we were going to take an Uber to California Grill, which sometimes you just got to treat yourself to an Uber. Sometimes you just got to do that. And you just got to be like, you know what? It's $15. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Well, we want to be late, and we didn't know how long it would take if we took the bus, or we might get there. Like, it'd be a reservation. So we just decided it was very nice.
Yeah, it was nice to just take an Uber.
Yeah.
And we got there right on time, right when they opened. I think we were one of the first people there when they opened for dinner. And our server was she was so patient with my mom because my mom is deaf. And so she was really sweet and took her time explaining the menu to us. And they have a prefix menu now because they're celebrating their 50th anniversary as well, because they opened the same time as Disney World. So they actually kind of take you through the history when you first go, and they kind of tell you what they used to be, and they used to have live performances. So that was really neat.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that.
We did have a window view, so we could see Magic Kingdom and Space Mountain and Seven Seas Lagoon.
Wow.
And my mom looked at the Grand Floridian. She was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Mom, that is somewhere we will never stay."
It looks like Bora Bora.
Oh, yeah.
You're
like, we can visit. We can't stay.
We can visit. We can't stay here.
I was thinking the people that stay at that hotel, they probably never want to leave.
I know, right?
Right there on the water, having fun. But anyway.
Yeah. But we had one of the best dinners I've had in a really long time. I started with the duck pizza, which I know it sounds weird if you're going to go there for dinner, but you have to trust me. It's very, very good. And my mom got sushi, and you loved the sushi, right, Mom?
Yeah, they were very good. The trio, the different ones, and that was very good.
Yeah.
Very light and fresh. And
they made me a mocktail, which was so nice because I didn't want to drink alcohol that night. I just wanted to have, a non-alcoholic journey that night, and they were happy to oblige, and they made me a very amazing mocktail, which was great. And then we had the tomahawk steak. Oh my gosh.
I was against it because I thought 32 ounces. That's like, what, for 4 people or something? I didn't know if we can eat all of that, but they highly recommend it.
We sure did. We ate all of that.
Oh, God.
And my mom...
I even took the big bone, and I ate the top off the big bone.
That's so great.
And I said, I don't care. It's so good.
It was probably one of the best steaks I've ever had. So props to California Grill. Have you ever had the steaks there?
No, we didn't have the steak. My husband had like a pork dish, and I had a salad dish, and I had steak on my salad. But that place is amazing. The views, the food, the service, like everything.
Everything is wonderful there, no matter what. That makes sense. But if you ever get a chance, get the tomahawk or the tomahawk. Anyway, you can share it with your husband. It's enough for 2 people.
Well, he could probably eat the whole thing, but I could share it with one of my kids.
Yeah, you could probably share it with a family of 4.
The glazed carrots was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's like crystallized.
Oh,
something that I didn't know as well, and that I learned that night from the people at Touring Plans, you can take your receipt for dinner. Like if you have an early reservation and you want to watch the fireworks on their terrace, so you have to obviously leave after dinner. But if you wanted to go back up and watch the fireworks, you can just show them your receipt for dinner, and they'll let you on the terrace to watch it.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Wow.
And they told me that. And unfortunately, we didn't do that because we left before the fireworks. But that would have been great to know on my other trips, because I feel like that vantage point is so beautiful because you can see the whole of Disney World. It's just so beautiful up there. So we really enjoyed dinner, and then we went back to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, Molly, why did the waitress ask for your season pass?
Oh, yes. Well, annual pass discounts apply there. So something that I always forget to do is to, especially when I'm eating out, is to show my annual pass. So don't forget to do that. That's another tip. But I think you get like 10 or 20% off of your dinner, which is really nice, especially at California Grill. So, but then we went back to Magic Kingdom. Do you remember what we did first, Mom?
We did the first.
The first ride.
I know we went on the Pirates in the Caribbean, but what was the first one? Oh, yeah. People Mover. People Movers.
Yeah.
People Movers? Okay. I didn't see any people move.
I moved. It moved me. She kept saying that the whole time. She's like, why is it called the People Mover? And I'm like, Mom, it's really literal. You just move on it. There was one part of the ride where it was there's when you go into the Space Mountain section and it's completely dark. And right when we got in, my mom yelled at the top of her lungs just to scare me. And I'm like, Mom, there are other people on this ride.
No.
That's fun. Hey, I like that.
She's a character, that's for sure. But that's probably my favorite ride at Magic Kingdom. And it was right during sunset. So we watched the sunset and it was just pinks and oranges and it was really beautiful. And Tron is a good vantage point for Tron construction. And that ride is really coming along. So I can't wait until they finish that.
Yes, that's exciting.
Yeah. And then after that, we went to ride Pirates of the Caribbean. That was really fun. That's something that I always want to do on my trips, and that's my husband's favorite ride. It's more of a nostalgic, that's my small world. Like that's the one that I always have to do when I go. That line was a little bit longer. We did wait in line for that just because it was 20 minutes. So we just thought we might as well. And my mom made friends in line with someone else.
I like to talk. I'm not afraid to, we got talking.
She's the friendliest person in the entire world. She made friends with probably every single person that we encountered on this trip. And it just made me realize just how personable she is. And that's where I get a lot of my extrovertness. I'm not a huge extrovert, but I realized that a lot of my husband always kind of is like embarrassed to go places with me sometimes because I'll start conversations with people I don't know. He's like, why are you bothering them? And I'm like, people love to talk at Disney. They love to make friends. They're always in such a good, well, most of the time they're in such a good mood. And I realized that I get that from my mom. So
that's cool. Yeah.
I have to say, because I love the Pirates in the Caribbean in California.
Oh, no. Are you going to say some fighting words, Mom?
What?
Are you going to start a fight?
No, I would never do that.
Okay, what are you going to say?
No, because I was a little disappointed on this Pirates in the Caribbean because I noticed that they didn't have a lot of the stuff that the one in Disneyland had. It wasn't
fighting words. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry. No, it was a great ride. It was fun. Of course, I got soaked and wet. Out of everybody in that boat with me.
She was the only one that got wet.
But I just remembered, no, they're missing some parts here. Because the one in California, it had all of it. There's more to it. And so that's the part that I was like, But maybe they changed it the last few years. I don't know.
There's definitely more in the one in Disneyland than there is in Disney World. And I've heard that from a lot of people. Small World is different in Disneyland and same with Pirates. And I think some people will say like these rides are better in Disneyland than in Disney World. And then these rides are better in Disney World than in land. So you have a whole other podcast about that.
Oh yeah. It's funny. People are very passionate about their home park.
They are.
Yes.
Maybe. Well, Molly, you'll find out next month when you go to Disneyland.
Yeah. I'm gonna do all the comparing and contrasting, and then I'll FaceTime my mom while I'm on Pirates and be like, "Look, Mom," but I'm not sure if it's open. I think they closed it for refurbishment, so hopefully they open it before I go so I can compare.
I think it is closed, but I don't know. It could be open. Who knows?
Could be open then. So, but I think that was the last of our ride that night, right, Mom?
It was because, the parade started and everybody was lining up for that.
The fireworks.
The fireworks, I'm sorry. And it was getting late. And, we only had, 45 minutes before they were going to close. So we decided
No. They weren't going to close until 11, but that was when the fireworks were starting. So everybody was kind of bunched in that one area. And I really thought, because I went and saw one of the very first showings of Enchantment. And that's when it was really crowded. Very, lots of people, they'd line up for 3 hours ahead of time. And I really thought that the hype had died down, but no, people will stand and wait in their spot for up to 2. We saw people in line for that as early as 7. And that was really interesting to me because I don't like waiting for things.
We don't want to miss out.
That's a long time to wait for a fireworks show.
But I will say, I do think, I do think it's definitely an experience. And if you have a really good view, it makes all the difference. So to the people that have that dedication, I applaud you.
Yep. Very true. Yep. And some people might just be wanting to sit down and take a break after being at the parks all day.
You can sit again.
There's a lot of people in wheelchairs and, they want to get spot to help them, so they're not in the back. Well, I don't know if they would, but or people have, canes and the older people. So I can see they can relax for 2 hours, no problem. They can just walk people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. People watching in the parks is probably another one of my favorite things to do. I could sit on a bench in front of Crystal Palace and I could just watch people walk by and have conversations. It's one of my favorite things to do.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's very underrated.
It is underrated. And I think people sometimes, if you don't go in a lot, then obviously you're focused on rides. But for annual pass holders, sometimes you just want to sit on the hub grass and eat a Mickey pretzel and watch the world turn. Absolutely.
And I saw one family that I thought was so cute with the mom had red toenails, the little girl had orange or something, and the little boy had red, and then the dad had bright blue toenails.
Oh, that's
They
so
all have
cute.
their toenails painted.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, how cute.
Yeah. That's so cute.
So cute.
That is great. Yeah, I did that. It's a little thing that you see and what they would go through just to make their kids happy.
Yeah, for sure. That's fun.
Yeah, so after that, I made my mom wait for me as I did some shopping because, the new Coach collection launched and I wanted to see if they had anything I could pick up, but I was very good and I didn't because they were all out of the yellow Coach ears, which was my favorite colors. You can ask my mom, my favorite color is yellow. I want everything yellow. I picked up all of the yellow t-shirts they had and I really wanted those yellow ears, but they were sold out. So I did not partake in that. And so after that we went home and that was pretty much our trip.
That sounds like y'all had a great trip.
We did.
Yeah, we did. We had a wonderful time, and I got to see a lot, and Molly showed me a lot. She's pretty knowledgeable of where everything is, what to do, what to eat, where to go. I was very impressed.
That's so fun.
Yeah, we had a great time, and the only ever times I've been is with my husband, and so it was interesting for me to go with someone else because I felt like, I could just show her all the things that I really love, and as much as I love my husband, he would and he will spend an entire day in Galaxy's Edge, and sometimes I'm just not about that life.
Yeah.
And luckily I had another person that had never watched, she doesn't necessarily partake in the Star Wars part of life, so she did not want to stay there for that long. So we got our blue milk and we pieced out of there, and that was it. And that was great. That was great timing for me.
Yes, it's fun to go with different people. I think it's especially fun to try to do one-on-one trips with people because then you can I love seeing Disney through other people's eyes. And when you're just there with one other person, you really get that opportunity to see it through their eyes. And I just think that's part of the magic of Disney.
It is.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
Yeah. Okay, so I ask all my guests, what was your least magical moment of your trip?
Oh, wow. Leap.
Yeah, what was your least magical moment?
I don't know
I
if I have one.
I know what mine is.
Okay, people mover.
Mom,
I got bored and that's why I scared you.
you got bored?
It was okay. It was my least favorite.
Oh my gosh. I can't
And now
believe
Molly's going crazy now.
Okay.
I think that's
well, we're
my
not
favorite
disappointed.
answer ever.
I don't think you probably have ever had anyone on your show before, Jenny, that has said that. So
No, I love it.
Oh, no? Oh, God.
It's so
No,
great.
it's funny.
People Mover is a crowd favorite. So any slander, you might have some unsubscribers. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Don't blame Jenny for my mom's opinions.
Oh, it's so funny. There might be people out there who are like, yes, I feel the same way. I've
Yeah,
just never said it.
I think you're right. I honestly think you're right. I've never heard anything bad about that ride. So I love it just because it's relaxing, but I can see how it's kind of boring. So I get that, Mom. I get that, Mom. Even if I don't agree. My non-magical was Genie Plus. I just think it was just so hard. And it was hard for me to enjoy myself a lot of times because I was so worried about that. But that also might just be because I'm a people pleaser by nature. And so I was trying to make the most out of the Genie Plus experience that I could. But I just wish it were easier to use. So
Well, when you're on vacation, it's a place that you want to go and relax and enjoy and have a good time to bond with family and friends or whatever. And like I said this earlier, it's kind of sad where you see everybody you see it everywhere in the park. Everybody's on the phone. They're trying to, and I thought, I just feel like they're missing out a lot because of that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Monday it'll be easier to use, but that probably was my least magical moment.
So what was y'all's most magical moments?
That's a more fun question.
Yes.
Mom, I want to know what your most fun magical moment was.
The firework. The
Really?
firework died. And I got in trouble.
She loves being the center of attention.
No, because I didn't understand it at first, and then I realized, and I thought, oh, wow. And then it's like, wow, they did a good job. They're pretty good. But then you got to see a lot, like the characters and this and that. You go through different rooms, and then the ride. I thought that was cool. That was my favorite.
I'm glad she enjoyed that, though, because that was really, I mean, you have to probably agree with me. It's hard to get, like, a lightning lane for that. So I'm glad she enjoyed it.
Absolutely. That was success.
Yes. My magical moment, I mean, I'm going to have to say I have two because it's really hard to choose, but brunch at Topolino's, which is, if anyone is wondering if they should stress out about getting brunch, you should, because you should try your hardest to do that. That was so much fun. It made me feel like I don't often have new Disney experiences. So that new experience for me was just so much fun. And just the character interactions for me was just, I don't know, it was just really top notch. So that was a high point. And then another high point was the Festival of Fantasy Parade was just so much fun. And it was worth standing in the sun and eating a Mickey pretzel. It was definitely an experience. And I loved that.
There's a lot of fun moments, yeah, but I thought you were talking about a ride, but the breakfast was another highlight. That was a good one.
Yeah, we're foodies here.
And Disney's the perfect place to be a foodie.
Oh, definitely.
So much good food.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on my show. I had so much fun talking to both of you. That was such a great travel tale, and I cannot wait to share it with the world.
Yay! I can't wait either. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for listening today. I just love talking with Molly and Cathy. They were so much fun. Go to my Instagram page at Disney Travel Tales to see pictures from their trip. If you're traveling to Disney and want to come on the show to share your travel tale, let me know. I'm currently looking for guests traveling this summer. Check the show notes for a form to fill out. Next week's show will be a little different. Make sure to subscribe to this show so you never miss a new episode. Until next time, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.